All right, guys. Today I'm going to be talking about a deeper concept. So this is going to be more of an emotional, mental concept that I'm going to be talking in this channel, and it's really important, right? Because these are one of those things that it's kind of painful. It causes you suffering. It causes you discomfort. It makes you hate life or hate things about your life. And if you're able to channel this, if you're able to hold these emotions and then use them as fuel, use them as energy to be able to do the work that you know you have to do in order to build the business you want, right? So this video is going to be talking about pain, suffering, discomfort, anger, or all these negative emotions and how you can use these negative emotions in order to hit your goals, right? Maybe you're at zero right now. Maybe you're making 5K per month, but you want to make 10, 20K or 100K. Maybe you want to be a millionaire in your 20s. Maybe you want to do this or that. Whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to need to use a lot of energy, right? When you're a young person, you're going to have a lot of energy by nature, but also when you have a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of things that, have caused you pain or discomfort in your life, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more reason to get success, more reason to want to be better, more reason to do this or that. So instead of just wasting, being angry, being bitter and just hating people or just, you know, kind of wasting it with distractions, right? Like drinking or eating too much or, video games or something else. Instead of channeling to these, escapes or these other distractions, you can channel it to your business, to your physique, to relationships, to whatever goals that you have, right? You want to use this energy, right? Because you probably learned in school, kinetic energy and potential energy, right? These emotions, they're potential energy, right? So all these bad things that happen to you, all these things you don't like about your life, all these things that you've gone through, this is potential energy, right? And instead of seeing it as oh, I'm unlucky or I had a hard life or these bad things happened to me, you have to start to see okay, these things that happened to me, they made me harder, they made me stronger, they made me, more resilient, they made me more capable of, going through hard things and then knowing that I'll be okay. Pretty much you want to use these bad things as potential energy, right? You want to use them as fuel. You want to use them as something in your favor, right? Because you have two options, right? I've met a lot of people who, maybe they've been my friends, in earlier years, as childhood friends or teenage friends, or just people I've met throughout my journey as an entrepreneur. Some people, when they have negative things happen to you, they become angry, they become bitter, and, they fall into escape or, cheap dopamine or other things that instead of, using this positive, potential energy or negative potential energy, they just, resort to doing something else. They resort to getting distracted. They resort to blaming others or, just sticking or just staying in this bad situation, right? Because you have to realize you have full control over, your business, your money, how well you live. You have 100% control of this, right? You have to realize that, right? Because if you start to blame other people, blame external things, that gives you an excuse to not do work. That gives you an excuse to stay stuck where you are. That gives you an excuse to, not make the potential you could make or reach the potential you could reach. It gives you excuses. It gives you a way out, right? You could blame somebody else. You can blame something else. You could say, this reason's why I'm not successful. This is the reason why I'm bad at this. This is the reason why I'm not good at what I want to be good at, or I can't have these nice things, or I can't have the life that I want. You can blame other things. You can blame other people. And what this is going to result in is not you advancing, not you getting better. So instead of doing this, what you want to do is you want to use these negative emotions, these hard things, these bad things, use them as potential energy, use them to make fuel you, right? Every time that you think about, I want to do this work for my business, but I also want to go have fun. I also want to procrastinate. I also want to do something else, right? Whenever you feel I want to quit with business, or I just want to, do something else, where I don't really want to, do my outreach. I don't really want to do my content. I don't really want to put my work in for this business model. You have to think about what are the bad things that happen to you. Think about the money you need to make. Think about the money you owe. Think about your debt. Think about the times that you didn't have money to think about the time you wanted to buy food when you were too broke. Think about the time that your car broke down and you didn't have money to repair it. Think about the time your parents didn't have money. Think about the times that you were embarrassed because you weren't as rich or successful as you wanted to be. Think about all of the bad things that related to money. Think about all the bad things related to your physique, right? All the times that you wish you were faster as a kid, all the times that you were the smallest one, that you were, the chubby one, the one that wasn't, the fittest, the one that people made fun of for, the way you looked or, the money you had or whatever it is, right? Could be, financial or fitness or health or relationships or life, whatever it is that you had hard moments and people laughed at you and you felt inferior, you felt like you weren't good enough. Think about all these memories that you have, there might be bad memories or traumatic memories, but just pull these memories out. Think about all the things that basically made you suffer, made you feel bad, made you feel like you just weren't like having a good time, right? Because no one has a good time when they want to buy food and their card declines, or when they want to, buy this thing and they don't have money in the bank account, or they have to, walk home because they don't have money for the bus, or you don't have money for a car, they don't have money for an Uber, right? So think about all the bad things that you've dealt with and all the things that you've gone through. And, think about the emotion you felt, right? Like how embarrassed or how disappointed or how weak or how like angry it made you, or how like, think about all the things you felt, right? Think about all the times you wanted to do something cool, you wanted to go to a concert, you wanted to go on vacation, you wanted to buy this new thing, and you just couldn't because you didn't have money, or you just couldn't for this reason, right? Think about all the times you couldn't, right? Think about all the things that you felt, all the situations you've gone through. And instead of, just like doing this just to, self-torture yourself or just to cause suffering, you're doing it because you want to harness this emotion. You want to get this potential energy, even if it's from negative things that happen to you, negative memories. You want to grab all this potential energy. And what you want to do instead is use this as fuel, right? Make this the reason why you're going to have money. Make this the reason why you're going to be successful. Make this the reason why you're going to be better, physically and financially. Make this the reason why you're going to get up and work. And, maybe you do the work, maybe you grow your business, maybe you make the money so that you can never be this down bad, so that you can never struggle this way that you struggled, so that you can never find yourself in these like bad, terrible situations. You want to make the money, you want to be successful, you want to have the financial freedom so that you don't go through this again, or so that other people who aren't your family or friends, they don't have to go through it because you're the one that worked and made the money so that you can provide and support them, right? So think about it this way, right? You want to make the money, you want the freedom, you want the business success, so you never have to live through this, or other people that you like or don't have to go through these situations. Or maybe you just want better, right? You just don't want to be this low level you've been as a child or as a teenager. You just want to ascend. You want to have, more money, more things, more material items, maybe just more financial security, more stability, whatever it is that you want. Just think about all the times you didn't have it. Think about all the times you fell, or all the times you had like uncomfortable situations, and then just use that as like the reason why you're going to be better, the reason you're going to improve, right? Because a lot of times it's cool to think about the money. It's cool to think about the things you can buy. But one of those things that motivates you the most is thinking about the bad moments, right? Thinking about avoiding the pain, thinking about not living these situations again. That motivates you a lot more. Like, think about it. Like, it's more scary to get hit than you to think about hitting someone else, right? Because when you're, for example, let's think about boxing, right? When you think about like, you're about to get hit, you kind of flinch if you're a beginner. You kind of feel like a discomfort. Maybe you clench your jaw. Maybe you close your eyes a little bit. Maybe you just tense your muscles when you're about to get hit. It's more scary in your mind than the actual pain, the pain of getting hit, maybe in the forehead or wherever it is, right? Than the reality, right? And also when you throw the punch, yeah, you get that excitement, like, yeah, I hit him. Yeah, that one hurt him, or I really hit him with that one, right? That's cool. That's exciting too. But the thought of, getting hit yourself and, it's hurting, that's more emotional. That's more like engraved in your mind, right? And that's why pain is like a better motivator. Suffering is a better, way of, harnessing potential energy, right? Because you can think about how happy you're going to be when you have money. You're going to think about how much you're going to smile, how you're going to laugh, how you're going to jump up and down and say, I did it. And that's good, right? That's a good emotion. But thinking about like the times you fell, think about the times you didn't have what you wanted, that's a stronger emotion. Like the fear, the feeling of being less than what you deserve to be. These emotions are stronger, right? So pretty much what I want to tell you in this video is I want to like basically encourage you to think about all the bad moments you've had, not just to like mentally torture yourself or just suffer or just like, cause you want to like give yourself trauma by remembering these things. I'm telling you, like, come back and think about these things so that you can use them as fuel, so that you can, make sure you never feel this again, so that you can be higher, so that people around you don't have to feel these things, so that you can just be more secure, just be better, just like have more than what you've had before, right? And just use this like, more things as like motivational potential energy, right? So pretty much that's what I wanted to tell you in this video. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. It's more of a mental, it's kind of more, woo-woo. It's more like spiritual, more like emotional video. I've never made one like this, but I wanted to like basically tell you something that's more personal, more deeper, but it's still extremely helpful. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone trying to make money in business, these things are real. These things really do help you. Seeing things this way can kind of change the way, you see like past trauma, past events that were negative, and you can transform them into something positive, right? Because of these like bad things that happen to you, these hard moments, if they were painful and they were negative, and you could, grab them, right, harness them, use this energy and do something positive that helps yourself and other people, then this is a good thing, right? So pretty much that's what I wanted to show you this concept, pretty much talk to you about this. But anyways, guys, go ahead and like the video. Make sure you like the video because this is what makes the algorithm know that the content is good and it recommends it to more people, and more people get, exposed to these positive messages and, can benefit from the content I'm posting. So make sure you like the video. Also subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm posting videos every single Monday and Friday. So if you have the notifications on, you'll be notified every single time I post a video. And like I said, I'm posting every single Monday and Friday. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Go like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.